It is my honor and pleasure, Mr. President, to bring Diwali greetings to the Hindu community and indeed all of Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of the opposition United National Congress Party and my fellow parliamentarians. I join with many governments around the world who are not only recognizing the Hindu Festival of Lights as a national holiday, but are going beyond and acknowledging the positive and meaningful contributions of the Hindu community in their country's development. What the Hindu community has brought and continues to bring to Trinidad and Tobago by way of its rich culture, music, dance, food, architecture, art, business, strong family values, hard work, and an unrelenting focus on education in society cannot be dimmed, placed in the shadows, or sent into exile. What I speak of today and what we are witness to in our sad but beloved country is not much different from the story, the Ramayana, as told by Valmiki. As Lord Rama went into exile in the forest of Dandaka, so too have our values of goodness, fairness, transparency, sense of peace and safety. As Lord Rama was forced to meet the multi-headed Ravan, we too are forced to confront the multiple manifestations of evil and darkness stalking our land. Valmiki reminds us in the Ramayana that before Lord Rama struck his arrow into the core of the evil Ravan and destroyed him, he would take aim and strike directly at the heads of Ravan, but the heads kept growing back. The story of the Ramayana therefore reminds us that we must get to the core of darkness, lest we face it with it again and again in different forms. The Ramayana also distinctly reminds us that Lord Rama did not stand alone. He had the support of Lord Hanuman and his army. He had the support of his brothers and others. Alas, much like the story of the Ramayana, we, the people, have an epic battle ahead of us. A battle to return our Sita, our Trinidad and Tobago, who has been abducted by a few, to Ayodhya. No one individual can do it alone. No one party, no one community. We need everyone from old to not so old, from east to west, north to south, who believe in fairness and justice, to act on truth, to become truth bearers. But it was the Mahatma, upon his return to India from South Africa, despite being a beneficiary of British education, who lamented the colonization of the mind that comes when Western education and values replace what is indigenous to a people and a country. Values that would have historically allowed them to strive, thrive, and become successful. What would the Mahatma say or do if he lived in Trinidad and Tobago today? Surely he would have stood up against the many incarnations of social injustice and would have spoken against those that find economic excuses for such injustices. He would have spoken against policies that allow a select few to continue to flourish while leaving the many burdened by heavy taxation, increasing penalties, loss of land and property, loss of agricultural crops without compensation, inability to afford basic education or put on the table, and he would have spoken against the colonial narrative of intimidation being espoused by dictatorial locals. Gandhi ji would have condemned bullying, the violence and discrimination by those in authority who have actively and passively engaged in and allowed such negativity and darkness to flourish. He would have brought attention to the growing homelessness and increasing poor, the closure of indigenous businesses, and the destruction of our once proud energy sector coming and emanating from the earth. And I have no doubt that the man in the white dhoti who ate with his hands would surely have lamented anyone needing to eat doubles with a knife and fork to feel cultured. His voice against homegrown colonials and colonists would have resonated loudly to the world to hear. To confront our own multi-headed Ravan in the epic battle that lies before us, we must first replace the neo-colonial standards of greed, grab, discrimination, recusals, destruction, and silence with the arrows and values of kindness, sharing, honor, compassion, empathy, and support of our elderly, our children, our vulnerable citizens. And yes, like Lord Rama and Gandhi ji, we are called upon to have valor, to be brave. Values, I will say, that many in our Hindu community continue to espouse today. This Diwali, may the blessings of Latrima guide and protect each and every one and bestow unto us the wisdom and courage we need to return Trinidad and Tobago to the path of positivity, peacefulness, and prosperity for all. Shubh Diwali.